Hey, hey, hey! This episode of Walking the Floor is made possible with support from Fender Play. Have you or someone you know been looking to learn how to play the guitar? Well, my friends over at Fender recently introduced Fender Play, the complete learning platform from the most trusted name in guitar, and it really is the quickest and easiest way to learn how to play. Offering on-demand guitar lessons through a video-based platform designed to help you play your favorite songs and learn key skills in minutes. Come on, kids. For your free trial of Fender Play, please visit fender.com/walking the floor. Here we go.
Hey, this is Rayland Baxter, and you're... Wait, what am I saying?
You can actually say whatever you want, but the show's name is the show's name is not
Rayland
Rayland
the
Baxter.
Floor.
The show's name is Walking the Floor.
Hey, this is Rayland Baxter, and you're listening to Walking the Floor.
I'm walking the floor over you.
Walking the floor.
I'm walking the floor. Walking the floor over you.
Hola, senors and senoritas. This is Chris Shiflett, and you're listening to another fine edition of Walking the Floor. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm tired. I'm on the road. I'm in Dallas. I'm sitting here at the coolest rock and roll hotel in Dallas, the Belmont Hotel, in my room, getting ready to drive to Houston because I'm out on the road supporting Blackberry Smoke. We're 2 shows in as of this here taping, and we're having a great time. Those guys in Blackberry Smoke and their whole crew are so cool. Great band. We're coming through parts of Texas and Arizona and California and on. So if you're anywhere near where we're playing, please come on out to the show. These shows have been really great. I gotta say, I'd never seen Blackberry Smoke live before, and they fucking kill it every night. That's a great band. And I'm stoked that they let us come out here and open up for them every night. Anyway, I'm losing my voice. I'm fighting a cold, but I don't really care. I'm having a great time. There's also, I'm hitting the road after these Blackberry Smoke shows. Well, not exactly after, and it sort of bounces back and forth. I'm doing solo acoustic shows with my good buddies Elizabeth Cook and Kendall Marvel. That's coming up. That's all up and down the West Coast. And then I jump back into some Blackberry Smoke dates through the Midwest, and then do some stuff around the South again with Elizabeth Cook and Kendall Marvel. So staying busy, hitting the road, getting sick, losing my voice. It's just what we do, baby. Okay, I just wanted to, again, thank Fender Play for helping make this episode of Walking the Floor absolutely free. Fender Play, the complete learning platform from the most trusted name in guitar, available on desktop and mobile, so you can learn anytime, anywhere. It's the quickest and easiest way to learn how to play the guitar, bass, or ukulele, with bite-sized video lessons featuring hundreds of top songs and all your classic favorites, man. For your free trial of Fender Play, please visit fender.com/walking the floor. That's fender.com/walking the floor. And while we're at it, I also want to mention that support for Walking the Floor comes from D'Addario. D'Addario, a fine maker of USA-made instrument strings and musical accessories, is committed to sustainability through the playback program, recycling over 1 million used instrument strings. For more information on the playback program and how to help in its mission of reaching 2.5 million strings in 2018, please visit playback.daddario.com. And while you're doing that and you're on your little web browser and you're tooling around the internet, get your butt on over to zounds.com. It's the home for music gear of all kinds on the internets. They have free shipping on every single order with no exceptions and no exclusions. And, of course, most orders arrive within 2 days. And you can always get caught up on the old episodes of Walking the Floor on the Zounds blog. So check that out. It's good times. All right, let's get on over to today's interview.
1, 2, 3.
All right, it's a funny thing, because after I interviewed Rayland Baxter, it seems like everybody I know that I told I had interviewed him knows him. So we seem to have lots of friends in common. I don't know how I never met this guy before, but he was great. We had a really good talk about, talked a lot about songwriting and his process, getting his songs together for his latest record that he made with Butch Walker. He was sore on the day that I interviewed him because he had just filmed the video for Casanova the day before, where he's like running all over Beverly Hills. And even though he's a former college star athlete, he was, he had some sore muscles this day, but we got through it and he was fantastic. I actually offered him the spot to be the first team goalie on the Foo Fighter Day Off soccer team for eternity. So whether or not he likes it, Rayland, you've got the spot. Next time we come through Nashville, you got the spot. You're in goal, baby. This is Rayland Baxter on Walking the Floor.
Casanova.
Right, tell me about this.
This running from the cops in Beverly Hills video that you just mentioned that's got you all sore today.
So, well, let's see. I'll tell you that I realize I'm very out of shape.
You don't look out of shape. You look like you're, young and sprightly.
That's all a facade. No, I grew up playing lacrosse and soccer, and I played lacrosse like halfway through college at a very high level. Like
really?
Division I at Loyola College in Baltimore.
Right.
And but after that, I mean, halfway through college was when I kind of got a guitar. So long story short, I'm out of shape. And I came to Los Angeles to film a music video for the second track on this last album of mine called
Wide Awake.
Yeah, the album's Wide Awake. The song's called Casanova. And the whole concept of the video is that I do a kind of a shady deal in the downtown alleyway, which is another funny story. What was going on in the alley when we were filming there?
What was going on for real that was shady in the alleyway?
Yeah. And then the cops see me and then I take off running. And so, this is probably a 3.5 minute song.
And you ran like 100 miles over the course of 2 days.
Jumping over bushes, swimming in my suit in water. Over and over again. And
well, shit, at least you got some good, what is that, in the ocean?
No, in a pool.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the ocean right now is like crazy warm.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It would have been nice. Either way, I was just running and jumping and squatting and then running again, All right, do that again.
When will that be available for the listeners to see?
Hopefully September.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if it's like the first week of September is when when it should be edited. And
That's really encouraging to me to hear that labels are still putting money into making videos. Because all you ever hear about anymore is like sort of the demise of how labels promote artists and all that sort of thing, and that there's no money in it, even though there's a ton of money in it because of streaming now. Mm-hmm. Who's your label?
ATO.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's like a real deal.
Yeah, they're a real label. And they honestly, like, it was their idea.
Oh, that's great.
I didn't think that I needed a music video.
Right.
Well,
that's got to say something about their commitment to you, right?
From the get-go.
In this crazy modern age of bands, just like getting a couple of bucks and told to go out on the road and record something on GarageBand when you get around to it.
No, they've been committed. I've put out 3 albums and 2 EPs, and they've put out all of it.
Through them.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And so they've been great. I hope to never move.
Oh, great. All right. Yeah.
I'd like to look back, and as long as they're still in business when I'm 70,
right?
I'd hope to just stick there and keep on moving with them.
Okay, you just mentioned that you played not only lacrosse but soccer. I don't know if you know, but we in Foo Fighter Land have day off soccer tradition that's been going back the last few years, where it's not sometimes we'll get Nate, our bass player, but it's not really the dudes in the band. It's more like me and a bunch of our road crew. And then if we're on tour, like we're on tour with a British band, this band, the Struts, for a lot of the last year, so we'd corral some of those guys to come or just call some friends wherever we are. So can we count on you next time we go where do you live? Like Nashville?
Nashville.
Okay, next time we're in Nashville, I got a good crew in Nashville of guys that I go play with.
I'm a goaltender.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, you got the size for it.
I was an all New England goaltender.
No shit. Really? So you're gonna. I'm just throwing it out there.
That was over 10 years ago, though.
But it doesn't matter. You should see. Most of us are fucking terrible. I'm a middle-aged man that can barely play, but I love it.
All right, good.
But you're gonna be our ringer if you want.
Yeah, I'm down.
That's funny because this company that we work with actually made us these really like nice Foo Fighter full kits, socks, like captain armband, the whole thing.
Wow.
And part of that was a killer goalie outfit. But everyone's like, I ain't gonna be the fucking goalie. Like who's taking the goalie outfit?
Nobody wants to be the goalie, man. Give me some good gloves and some compression shorts with pads over my hips. I'll be diving all over the place.
We've actually, we've done a couple times, and this has been so fun. But we've hooked up with some MLS teams here and there, Real Salt Lake and FC Dallas, and have gone and played like at their training facilities with sometimes awesome. Some of the players actually come. Usually it's like the guys that work for the team or whatever. And we always kind of go into it like, okay, let's take it easy. But my favorite was after we played with the Dallas crew. They're like, yeah, don't quit your day job. Nice work. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Most musicians are happy to be musicians and not running up and down the field sprinting.
You got to do something on tour though to sort of keep your shit together. You know?
I'm realizing that I need to do a little bit more.
There you go.
Like I woke up this morning and yesterday morning limping.
Oof.
Like limping around my apartment like I had prosthetic legs. And I think that it was the same motion, like heel to heel, no toes, calf. There's no like use of my calf muscles.
Right.
Just heel to heel. Oh.
I want you to know that I'm not even kidding, bro. That is literally how I feel every morning of my life until right after my second cup of coffee, and then things start to like loosen up a little bit.
Nice. Okay.
That is every morning getting out of my bed, walking downstairs. Oh, fuck me. Jesus. All right. Besides being sore all the time, tell me about this rubber band factory, this abandoned rubber band factory.
Well, it was an abandoned rubber band factory until my good friend Billy Swayze took it over and started filling up his lifelong collection of antique or vintage recording gear in the shell of the factory.
Right.
Specifically, his dream, because it's his family's property. He comes from
is he
one of the pioneers,
rubber band baron?
His grandfather invented the rubber band, or is one of the first companies to make rubber bands.
Wow.
By ripping farm tractor tires and pulling out shreds of the tractor tires and then tying them together because he was delivering the newspaper and he didn't know how to. So he found an elastic from the rubber tires.
Wow.
And tied it there, and then that grew on into Alliance Rubber Company. And when Alliance Rubber Company in the maybe 80s moved to Arkansas, this whole building in Franklin, Kentucky was just left,
Right.
And so Billy had a dream from when he was a kid to start collecting gear and have a studio. And so when maybe 5 years ago, he started filling it up and knocking down a wall every once in a while and making sure he could record, starting with the most basic, And then by the time I got there 2 years ago,
Wait, are you from Franklin?
No, I'm from Nashville.
You grew up in Nashville?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I grew up there. I lived there until I was 13.
Okay.
And then I moved to Maryland with my mom and sister.
Oh, no shit. Whereabouts?
Annapolis.
Oh, okay. I lived in Laurel when I was real young.
I know Laurel.
Yeah. 8405 Holly Street. If anybody wants to go by there and have a look at the old homestead.
8405 Holly Street. And so, I needed a place to go write. After we had got done with Imaginary Man, my last album, that whole record cycle, I was like, I need to go somewhere and write and be by myself.
Yeah.
And so I looked on Airbnb around Chattanooga and up in the woods, and it was all one really expensive and not my scene. And then I remembered Billy has a studio an hour north of Nashville, is Franklin, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I went up there a few days, like a week before Halloween, and he showed me the room I could live in for free. And I said, "All right, bet it. I'll be back up in a week." And And then I didn't know how long I was going to be there, but I knew I had a bunch of little voice memos on my phone that I needed to sift through and turn into a song or combine them. And so
doesn't that drive you crazy, man?
well,
My phone is full of voice memos, and like just every now and again, I'll actually go back and listen to them. Are you good about that?
I am. I got a little advice from Matt Schultz of Cage the Elephant. He was like, Ray, when you're doing the voice memos, write the location you were when you did the voice memo.
Ooh.
And so they're quite organized now. It says idea, song title or whatever.
Oh.
And then parentheses, back of van or
That's funny.
Omaha Green Room.
Right. I do a similar thing so that because I find that it's hard to get back into like the sort of headspace of what you were thinking in that moment. And so I will write like, mid 70s Rolling Stones or like just some reference. So I know like what I was kind of like, maybe what record I was listening to that inspired the little lick that I can, you know what I mean?
Or even go like, Beggar's Banquet track 3.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
The second chorus, remember that little shimmery thing.
Yeah.
And then you go right back.
Yeah.
When I got in the room, I had brought big notebooks of paper, like, and I put them all over the walls, and I went through and I wrote out the voice memos and the song titles, and then I would just start knocking them out. And I had, 100 of them.
No shit.
And
did you get close to 100 songs written?
I got around 50 songs in 3 months.
Dude, that's like your next 15 years of albums.
Yeah. I went to town, man. And I just found my little spot in that Thunder Sound is the name of the studio. And I stayed awake as long as possible. And I was so excited to wake up again.
Did you use any of the
write.
Substances that you got in the alley downtown to help you? Was there some assistance?
Oh, there was speed. There was speed for sure. Speed, coffee, cigarettes. I smoked a lot of cigarettes and just took speed. But like that was my mission. I wanted to do it like I read about my favorite writers doing.
Right. I mean, do you have like when you're in that kind of a super creative outpouring? I mean, I can honestly say I've never sat down and written for 10 or 15 hours a day in and day out. I've never done that, and I would be kind of fascinated by what results I would get from that. That sounds like a great process, and probably one that in my life right now with like I got 3 kids, I'm married, band, this, that, and the other. So it's probably something I don't have time for, but I'm kind of fascinated by like. I'm putting it in context of myself. Like, what do you do in that moment when you get stuck on something? Like, do you have some kind of writing trick that you go to sort of get out of a rut, or did you find it just like open the floodgates and you were off to the races?
It was that was the first and only time I've been able to write like that, and so I can only speak on those 3 months. And I didn't get stuck much. I would go outside. Walk around, or I just
is
change
it like
the
out
page.
in kind of a rural area?
It's in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by cornfields.
Okay,
and coyotes, and there's even some bald eagles up there.
No shit,
and deer. And I was by myself a majority of the time.
Right,
Billy would be gone, or the resident. Far out dude, Tiger, who's in a band called Morning Teleportation. He would be hanging out and be like, "Hey Ray, man, what you doing? I heard that thing you're playing is really good."
Oh, nice.
But I don't know. I didn't get hung. It was a crazy time because I was by myself. I was focused.
Yeah.
I was writing. I was doing like if I wasn't writing, I was making these doodles that were like. Crazy, like speed doodles.
Right. I mean, will you go back and do it again? You think at some point?
Most definitely.
Right.
Whether it's there or somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, how much do you write normally?
I'm always doing the little voice memo things.
Right.
It works for me. I only write songs though. I don't write stories. I don't write poems. I just write songs.
Right.
And I haven't come to a point. I hope I get to a point where I can start writing some literature, and just
really,
yeah, sure. I enjoy writing. I don't do it. I'm so busy, focused on this, like being a singer songwriter and trying to, see observe and then write, and you know,
Yeah.
as I'm figuring out the world and making sense of everything, whether it's, you know, I mean, just everything of growing up, or why I think the way I do, or why someone else thinks the way they do, or how
Yeah.
humans interact with each other. It's constantly, I'm always looking at it through a song filter.
Right.
you
Well,
know?
I read a great quote of yours that, and this was in reference to your latest record, which was, it's about being a human at the crossroads. Do I do good or do I do evil? So, I guess the question would be, which one did you choose? Or do you choose, or do you
Both.
bounce between them?
I go back and forth, you know.
Yeah.
I am a good person, you know. I like on small scale to big scale. Like I'm sure of that.
Yeah,
But
more
I
good
also-
than evil.
More good than evil, yeah. But I like the bad, you know,
Yeah.
the bad side.
I think most of the evil I ever did in this world, or have done, or continue to do, is probably more focused at myself.
Yeah, totally,
You know?
totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
yeah.
I do. I could take better care of myself.
But you didn't make the record there, right?
No, I made the record in Santa Monica.
Right, over at Butch's place.
Uh-huh.
You know, I will say Butch Walker continues to be, by far, the biggest episode of my podcast ever. Yes. I mean, like, not even close. Like tens of thousands of downloads more than
Wow.
the next one behind it.
Yeah, he's a legit human.
Yeah, for sure. What's he like as a producer? I've never worked with him.
Let's see, perfect. You know,
I mean, I've been to his studio over here, and it's fantastic.
he was there to when I needed to lean on him. Like, should I raise the melody here? Or should I keep it the same as the demo? You know, and he's a great musician as well, and he's
Does he
a
play on
nurturer.
the records that
he
he-
played bass, all the
okay,
bass,
cool.
and a little
Do you
bit
have
of guitar.
like a band that you have, or different guys?
I have a band. It's always changing.
Right,
I've
right.
committed to no one.
Right.
But for that, when we recorded out there, Eric Slick from Dr. Dog played drums. Aaron Embry, a local pianist, keyboard genius, amazing angel, incredible piano player. He played all the keys. Nick Bockrath from Cage the Elephant played guitar.
Oh, cool.
And Butch played bass, and then Rob Moose did the strings.
Oh, wow.
And Miss Bobby Hall played percussion, who's Marvin Gaye, Bob Dylan,
Oh, wow.
Joni Mitchell.
No
Incredible.
shit.
She's friends with Aaron Embry, and she came and did percussion. My dad, Lloyd Green, and Bucky Baxter played pedal steel. It was a quality group.
Wow.
And Butch was just there. He played bass, and he was there for support.
But you
know?
got your dad and Lloyd Green to
Yeah.
come out and play pedal
No,
steel?
well, we did that in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
But Lloyd Green played on a song, and my dad played on a song.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, Bucky, who's my dad, he was like, Ray, I haven't been playing much, so give Lloyd Green a call. I'm like, give Lloyd Green a call? What do you mean, give Lloyd Green a call? Like, does that how it works?
Yeah.
Just call him?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, call him. I called him, left him a voicemail on his Codaphone, on his home landline.
Yeah.
And he called me back. And luckily, the studio was just a mile away from his house in Madison, right
No
outside of
shit.
Nashville. But back to Butch. Butch was an inspiration to be around, because he would show up 2 hours before we would, and we'd get there at like noon, and he'd get there and he'd just start. He'd do his thing. By the time we got into the studio, after day one, everything sounded incredible.
Your record sounds
Inspiring.
amazing.
It
the
does.
sounds on it are so good.
Michael Brower mixed it. He did like the early Coldplay and the Grizzly Bear and
Right.
and I mean a whole bunch of other stuff. But
I love that thing when people strike that balance between sounding very now and sounding very vintage classic. And your record to me
nice.
does that. you
All
know?
right, hell yeah, that's a good. That's good,
Yeah.
and it thumps. You know, it hits.
Yeah.
But it's also that I'm happy about it.
So you mentioned a little bit earlier that you started playing in college. Is that right? So you didn't grow up playing music?
Not at all.
Really?
I I was sports,
Right,
soccer, lacrosse. And my dad, he was a touring musician all the time.
Sure.
And I was around it, but I never...
This is making me really happy right now because my kids don't give a fuck about playing guitar. And I'm like, trying not to be heavy-handed about it, but I'm trying to get them into it. But they don't really listen to guitar music, so they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So I always, but I have noticed through having kids that everybody seems to get into stuff later now.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing this from you that you got into it in college, and then look at you now. Like it's giving me hope.
Yeah, good.
Not because I necessarily want to have my kids be musicians for their life, but I just want them to be want them to have a little bit of that experience at least.
Yeah, it's good to know music and to be able to make
get in touch
music.
with that side.
Sorry, brain fart.
Did your dad did he try to push it on you? Did you ever did he try to teach you pedal steel when you're, because that's an amazingly difficult instrument.
Hopefully I will pick up the pedal steel later on in life. But no, he never. Like, we went on a motorcycle trip where I was on the back. We went camping when I was a young kid, and we went to a pawn shop, and he got me a blue, shiny lipstick blue sparkly electric guitar.
Yeah. And
he showed me how to play the D chord, the G chord, the C, the A minor, and the E minor.
It's all you need, baby.
But after that, it's collected dust under my bed. I went back to playing soccer.
Yeah.
And then after 6th grade, I moved up to Maryland and started playing lacrosse. And then, I went to college in Baltimore, and freshman year, end of my sophomore year, my dad gave me an acoustic guitar. And I was like, cool, because I had just started listening to lyrics of music because of the influence of my neighbors in college.
Right.
And the music was not good music.
Right. What kind of stuff?
Oh, it was... Make sure I don't know. It was like jam band stuff.
Oh,
I'll
okay,
just leave it there.
Yeah.
But then that got me into, that's like fake bluegrass, as I would call it. Then it got me into real bluegrass, and then I started going back through Dylan's catalog and listening to that, and J.J. Cale and Steve Earle.
Yeah.
And then I, after college, my junior, so I got kicked out of college after my sophomore year for 1 year.
Yeah.
For getting in a fight on campus.
Oh, really?
I was stepping up for my buddy who was getting his ass kicked.
Right.
And then I was the one that got in trouble for it. But I took a year off from school, and then that's when that acoustic guitar that Bucky gave me, I started noodling around on it, learning how to play some songs. And then my junior year, when I came back to school, I was still on the lacrosse team, made it through fall ball because it's a spring sport. We practice in the fall. Okay. Came back for the spring. I quit halfway through the season, started a cover band called Ralph and the Movers, and quit the team. We signed up for the Battle of the Bands, Nice. Got rejected because we didn't have any original songs. We were just playing Sublime and The Band and Jimi Hendrix. And then my senior year, I kept playing, and little bits of encouragement from people when I would sing, they would like it. Right. And so then I finished college, moved out to Colorado, played the open mic nights there in this little town called Creede, Colorado. Nice. And people kept on wanting me to sing, and I kept singing, and I'd come back the next week and there'd be more people there. And then I moved up to Breckenridge in the winter of 07, 08, and I played at an open mic night there at the Gold Pan Saloon. And after the third week, it'd be full of people, and I was just singing cover songs. And then I moved back to Nashville and went on tour with my dad. He was in a band called the Moonshine Sessions. No shit. Which is a bluegrass musicians with this French DJ named Philippe Solal from the Gotan Project.
Well, that's a crazy combo.
Yeah. And so I guitar teched for them in Europe for 3 weeks. And after that tour, it was March of 08, April of 08. My dad and I went to Israel to visit his best friend, Andre. And then for 2 weeks we stayed, and I ended up staying for 6 months. And that is when that's when I started writing the songs of my own. Right. And just obsession began.
So you weren't like taking lessons along the way, where you kind of like self-taught, or just picked up a few chords and went for it?
Yeah, and
Right.
you know, like Bucky would do things like this. You can play the C here, or you can also, I mean, you can play the F here, or
Yeah.
you can play it
Right.
whatever, you know.
Right.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
see
Look
the
and see,
C
it's the same
shapes,
shape. Yeah. Yeah.
all that
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And he
yeah.
would say one thing, and then what he was really good at, he just kind of planted these seeds.
Pearls of wisdom.
Totally.
Let them take root.
Yeah, and so whether he knew it or not, it's like looking back on it, he never pressured me into anything. I just came across it on my own, and I
Right.
appreciate the process in which I was finding the guitar and still figuring the guitar out. you
Sure.
know?
Yeah. In a town with like the highest level of musicianship, fucking anywhere. You know, Nashville is
Probably.
crazy.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I can play that too, man.
Okay, so what led to like? How did you get your record deal then? How'd you go from sort of open mic nights to land, scoring a record deal?
I came back to Nashville from Israel with a handful of songs, and I made an EP with my buddy Eric Massey called "A Miscalculation of Song," and and at the same kind of time I met one of my best friends and our tour manager, the only tour manager I've ever had, Austin Luttrell, and he started booking shows for me at coffee shops and stuff in the Southeast region, and then I'd made the EP. So I had the EP, and I'd a paper bag, sandwich bag. I put it in there and wax stamped it on the back and put a stamp that said RB EP. And I went around and started playing shows. When I came, after maybe a year of that, I had enough songs to make an album. So I went back in with Eric Massey, and we recorded Feathers and Fishhooks. And after I made Feathers and Fishhooks, I sent it. My lawyer, Jim Zumwalt in Nashville, he was like, "Ray, this is really good. I'm going to send it to my friend Kevin Morris. He used to work for me." Now, Kevin Morris is now my manager, along with the String Cheese and Alabama Shakes and a bunch of other cats.
Yeah, sure.
And he heard it. He was like, "Cool, I'm on my way to Bonnaroo right now. You want to hang?" And I think I met him at Zumwalt's office, and we went to Bonnaroo and hung out for the weekend. And then he sent it to ATO, the only label he sent it to, maybe one other one, like a bigger label that passed.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Let's do this." And so they helped print it, and they helped figure all that stuff out, and then it was off to the races.
And you've been hard touring from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you like nowadays? You just have to tour. Everybody has to tour all the fucking time. So everybody's like road dogging it. But do you like touring? Do you like that lifestyle?
Yeah, I do. For now.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited by change, I'm excited by, even like today, I feel like shit, my throat hurts.
Yeah.
I got a fever, I think, for the last 2
shit.
days.
Yeah.
I'm sore, but every time I just check back in with myself, I'm like, oh, this is still fucking awesome.
Right.
I like seeing the ground pass. I like playing shows. I like the camaraderie from the band that happens. And
Yeah. It's funny touring, like, I don't know how many times, like, there's bands that I've toured with over the years that I didn't really, like, know them or really didn't even, like their music on day one. And by, like, day 38, you're, like, singing every song and wearing the fucking T-shirt and your best friends, you know?
Yeah, I love it. I like performing as well.
Yeah.
And I like that the shows, I don't know if I could tour and not see growth.
Right.
And evolution, and
Yeah.
more people are coming to the shows.
Yeah,
I'm figuring out the guitar. I'm figuring out how to play in a band.
Right. How to be a front man.
How
all
to be a
that
front
stuff.
man. How to stand. How to sit. How to,
Right.
all these things that go into it. It's not just not everything comes natural to a performer.
Sure.
And I like it makes me feel like I'm doing something important.
Right.
For my world or for the world, or and people want to hear the music that we're making and the songs that I'm writing. So it's like as long until it feels wrong, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah. When did your latest album come out?
Came out on July 13th.
Okay, so you're like right at the front end of like your cycle.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right?
Yeah, we started off, our first show was in D.C. on the 12th, New York on the 13th, and then we did a month straight. And then I had 3 days off in Nashville, and then I came out here. And I've been here since Friday, and then I fly to Santa Fe tonight.
Ooh.
And then I start with Shaky Graves and Jose Gonzalez
Oh,
tomorrow
cool.
at Meow Wolf, which is a crazy art house out there. And then,
Oh, wow. Santa Fe's cool, yeah.
yeah, this place Meow Wolf is supposedly like amazing. It's
Really? Like an art space venue kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't even know if they have a venue there, but Shaky's been out there all week building a stage with the. But it's like one of those fun houses where you
Yeah.
walk in and pull the refrigerator door open, and it goes into another room, a hallway that
cool.
spirals down into. You're then inside the whale's belly, and you can hit his ribs with hammers, and it makes noise. And then
Oh, fuck yeah.
you swirl through the fun house of the mirrors. But it's like, it's kind of like that place in New York, Speak No More.
Oh, I've never been.
It's like an interactive play where you can walk around.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Sure.
Speak No More.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then after that, that's 10 days with Shaky and Jose Gonzalez, and then I meet my band in Seattle on September 4th, and then we do 3.5 weeks in the States, West Coast mostly, and then a couple of us go to Europe for a month,
Oh, cool.
and then we come back.
Do you kind of do you tour in sort of different configurations depending
Yeah.
on like, tour budget or whatever?
Totally.
Like, will you go out as a 2-piece versus like with a full band and
Yeah,
you know,
I'll do a trio thing. Like my old drummer, he lives in Spain. So Barney, our guitar player, and I will go out there and link up with him. Barney will play bass and I'll play guitar, and Chip will play drums. And then, but also within that, Barney and I can play guitar, and do our thing.
Yeah.
But in the States, now that we've been able to, I have a full band, there'll be 5 of us,
Yep.
sometimes 6. But
So the singer from Snuff, this old punk rock band, had such a great idea. He would like basically on whatever continent he was going to, he just has musicians that he plays with.
Yeah,
so he never
that's
has to fly a band anywhere.
that's the vibe right there. Man.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
And
I've never put that into practice myself, but it's a great fucking idea,
It's unless you can afford to bring the gang everywhere,
touring's
it's like,
fucking expensive, man. It's hard. Everybody's got to get a room, all that, rent a van, blah blah blah. It adds up real fast.
oh yeah.
So you mentioned you spent some time growing up in Annapolis in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that, and so I'm just going to totally left turn it. And feel free to tell me to fuck off. But a buddy of mine is now working for the mayor of Annapolis right now, and they're really trying to pump some energy into the music scene there and the art scene and everything.
Yeah,
so they're trying to put together like some different music festivals and stuff. And he's been asking me to help him like curate like an Americana Roots kind of festival. So I think you're going to be the headliner. You're the headliner of the first year of whenever that happens.
Yeah,
Are
nice.
you in?
Yeah, I'm like I graduated from Annapolis High
Oh,
School.
really?
So
Okay. So do you have like happy memories connection to? It wouldn't be like fuck that place. I'm never going back.
the farther I've gotten away from living there, the more I admire my time there.
Yeah.
But after, I went to Severn School, which is in Severna Park, Maryland, right next to Annapolis. I went there for 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. Private school, co-ed. Didn't really like it. My living situation was my mom and sister, and then my aunt and her daughter, my cousin. We moved up there so that my mom could go back to school. She got accepted into Johns Hopkins to finish her nursing degree, which she started in Nashville. Great program at Johns Hopkins. We're like, let's go. And to make it easier, my aunt very lovingly opened up her doors to her house, and we lived in her house for 3 years. And after the 3rd year, I was like, nah, I'm gonna leave. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I love everybody, but it's like I need to be doing puberty, and I need to be like doing this stuff. Right. And so my mom and I went up to New England and looked at a bunch of boarding schools. And I knew that I could get like financial aid, but I was also a really good lacrosse player, and
Right.
this one school, Suffield Academy, was trying to build their program, and so I went up there. I could go there for free,
Yeah.
great education, and I did that, and I loved it. You know, it was
Right.
like college, but a little bit more rules. I eventually got kicked out of there with like 3 months to go in my senior year, just from being, you know, a little mischievous child.
Sure.
And that's why when I
That
came back
seems
to
to be a
Annapolis,
recurring theme in your educational experience.
totally like I gotta break down the fence every time. You know, I'm like, I'm not playing by your rules. But I loved it. I don't know how I got on this subject.
I mean, those are
of,
three very. It's interesting that growing up, you got three very sort of distinct, cultural experience, American cultural experiences. There, you got the South, right on the border. I think of Maryland is like it's kind of between.
Just below.
Yeah, it's just sort of a little bit of both. And then New England, obviously, very. That it's New England. Those are three distinct. All you need to just throw like a Midwest and maybe like
Right.
California in there somewhere, and you'll be good to go.
I love the fall, the autumn in New England. I
Yeah.
have memories of that and seeing it's all. It's having memories, having beautiful memories from regions all over the planet. Really,
Yeah.
are what I would like to be feeding off of when I'm older.
Well, it's funny, man. Like I lived in Maryland when I was so young. I moved for finally we bounced between Maryland and California when I was really young, and then when I was 6, moved to California for the last time, and then lived here for the rest of my childhood. So my memories are real fuzzy of Maryland, and like I don't know that I picked up a lot culturally from that, but it's weird when I go back anywhere in that area, DC, any of the surrounding area, it's the smell that just does something. It's this weird, like sense memory thing that happens. It's like, whoa, I know this.
like the sea, almost salty.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what it is. It's just something like I feel it.
I like that. I'm into that.
Yeah.
I feel it when I get back into Annapolis. I feel things. I went through. That's where I got like. That is where the puberty happened. That's
Right.
where
Yeah.
I mean, so much stuff.
Yeah. Well, you want to play a song, buddy?
Sure. Let it all go, man. Yeah, I haven't sang in a few days, so I'm just gonna wing it. Yeah, okay, this is the last song on Wide Awake, which is called Let It All Go, Man. Good morning, everyone. Gather round, grab a chair. Make yourself a drink, blow your smoke into the air. Contemporary sadness and fire-breathing dragons are everywhere. But the days go by here in old Belvedere. And the way that it goes is just the way that it is. But do you ever wonder if anyone is ever gonna make it out? Is it wonder, or is it fame, or is it popularity that ruins everything? Is the river not the rain? Why is everyone pretending that there's not a drop to drink? Well, here we are, holding on to everything. Let it all go, man. Let it all go, man. Let it all go, man. Let it all go. So I build up a fence around the man and me. As the Mayan and the misanthrope argue in the street. Angelic eyes of sadness and fire-breathing dragons are all I see. But the longer I stand and the more I awake, the cracks in my hand and the lines on my face fail to remind me the frail and the blind see the same as me. Is it madness or is it fear? My brother, I'm not really sure after all these years. Is it wonder or is it love? Or is everyone believing that it's all under our control? Well, here we are, just waiting to explode. Let it all go, man. Let it all go, man. Let it all go, man. Let it all go. Let it all go, man. Let it all go, man. Just let it all go, man. Let it all go.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah.
That sounds fantastic. That doesn't sound like first thing in the morning at all.
It felt like it.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thanks for that.
'Cause I never paid attention.
Oh yeah, that was Rayland Baxter jamming on Walking the Floor. As always, get your butt on over to walkingthefloor.com. I'm going to post a bunch of links so you can see what Rayland's up to, and you can get out there and buy his tickets and t-shirts and stream his music and watch his videos and all that great stuff. Once again, just wanted to thank Fender Play for all their support. If any listeners are interested in learning to play the guitar without those usual hurdles, check out a free trial by visiting fender.com/walkingthefloor. Oh, I'm about to go get in the van and hightail it up to Houston, so I'll see you out there on the road somewhere. Make sure to come see us. That's it for this week. Adios, amigo!